A man spent an entire evening sending messages to the mother of his child, accusing her of cheating, lying, and betrayal. Hours later, when the St. Paul police responded to a welfare check on Edmund Avenue, that woman was gone, and the father of her child was nowhere to be found. Before we get too deep, hit the like button, share your take in the comment, and tap subscribe with the bell so you never miss the next episode of Deranged Mind. 33-year-old Christine Morris was originally from New York and had relocated to St. Paul, Minnesota, where she built a life for herself. She was the kind of person who was always moving and always working towards something bigger. She attended Norfolk State University in Virginia, and after graduating, ventured into multiple career paths. She also enjoyed partying and outings with her friends. In October 2020, Christine earned her real estate license and joined Exit Realty Metro. A few months after that, in February 2021, she became a public notary commissioner, serving the Twin Cities area. Then in January 2022, she launched her own culinary business, Chrissy's Authentic Jamaican Food and Things. She specialized in Jamaican cuisine, drawing from her heritage. Her Rasta pasta became a customer favorite. She catered events and took orders for individual plates. Christine had been in a relationship with 34-year-old Joseph Davis, and they were parents to a 2-year-old daughter. Joseph Davis had other children from a previous relationship, and the mother of his 2 older kids had an active order of protection against him. He had a documented history. Between 2023 and 2024, he'd been convicted 3 separate times for violence, gross misdemeanor, and assault in Ramsey County. And in June 2024, he was found guilty of violating a no-contact order in Hennepin County. All 3 cases involved Christine Morris, the same woman he was still in a relationship with and who was raising his youngest child. But despite these convictions, despite the protective orders, despite the clear escalation, Davis remained free. Davis posted frequently about infidelity. According to reports, his posts focused on what he considered cheating, going beyond physical acts to include things like messaging, texting, or hiding phone activity from a partner, painting a picture of someone fixated on control, monitoring, and suspicion. In September 2024, Christine confided in a close friend, stating that if anything ever happened to her or her daughter, Joseph Davis would be responsible. Despite everything, Christine kept building her life. In June 2024, she wrote about women on social media who publicly present themselves as supportive and uplifting, but privately bring up others' past mistakes or painful experiences. She discussed how some women appear to struggle when others overcome their challenges, and how they publicly preach about empowerment while privately passing judgment. She co-founded a women's empowerment group called Pride Empower Women's Group. Christine and 2 other women wanted to create a support network, a resource hub where women could connect with financial advisors, insurance agents, teachers, realtors, and doctors. They planned to offer housing resources, childcare information, and therapy services. The group was free to join with no membership fees. Christine wrote about being seen and heard, about building community and lifting each other up. She was trying to create something positive, trying to help other women while dealing with her own situation at home. She also regularly made posts about strained relationships between women and their partners. Christine wrote, "The reason why most men can't see their kids is because the moms are very bitter. I'm talking about the men who are active and try to be there. Why can't these men see the kids or have equal custody? And I got time today, 'cause why does a man have to fight for custody but the woman doesn't? And don't say they give up easily, because as a mother, if you were in the same position, how would you deal with a custody battle? Why is it that when a man moves on he can't see the kids? I'm a walking witness to this bitterness. Sadly, it's only hurting the kids." On April 22nd, Christine also posted, "Reading some stuff this morning on the app. Women, stop putting your hands on these men. Men, start getting restraining orders on these unhinged women, because if you put your hands on her, you're going to jail. And all along she's the aggressor. If you gotta fight your person, then they're not your person." Whether she was speaking from observation or personal experience, the message was about violence in relationships, about knowing when to walk away, and about not fighting someone who's supposed to be your partner. On the evening of May 1st, Christine made plans to go out with a close friend. She left Joseph Davis at home with their daughter, who wasn't feeling well that night. While Christine was out, Davis started sending her multiple messages. These included accusations about cheating, questions about where she was and who she was with. Around 11 p.m., Christine texted her friend to let her know she'd made it home safely. But when Christine walked through that door, Davis confronted her immediately, accusing her of lying, of being unfaithful and manipulating him for 5 years. On the morning of May 2nd, St. Paul police received a call. Officers were dispatched to the 300 block of Edmund Avenue for a welfare check. They knocked on the door but there was no answer. When additional units arrived, they made entry into the home. Inside, they found 33-year-old Christine Morris. She was pronounced gone at the scene. The Ramsey County Medical Examiner determined that she had sustained multiple injuries. Investigators began working the case.
Public information officer for the St. Paul Police Department. Shortly after 5 a.m., our officers responded to the 300 block of Edmund Avenue to do a welfare check. The caller stated a woman inside may have been injured and a 2-year-old child may be left home alone. Officers arrived on scene. They knocked on the door. They did not get an answer. They waited for backup. When backup arrived, they made entry into the home. Inside the home, they located the 2-year-old child unharmed. She was taken out of the house for safety. Officers continued to check the rest of the house and found an adult female deceased. St. Paul paramedics responded to the scene and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. Our homicide investigators are currently working to determine what happened. The Ramsey County medical examiners will conduct an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death and identify the victim. Any new information we will update on our X account. Now keep in mind, this is an active and open investigation. I will now take questions.
Do you have a reason to believe that you're looking for a suspect at this point? Does it sound like this woman was hurt or injured by someone else?
At this time, we have a person of interest. The suspect and the victim are known to each other, and I can't comment any further than that.
Is there an arrest of that person of interest?
Not yet. We are actively looking for that person.
Any type of, was this woman shot? Was it stabbing? Any details you can provide there?
At this time, I cannot, based on the trauma on the victim, we believe it is a homicide.
The child, any injuries, the nature of the child?
The child was left unharmed, luckily.
And you can't say anything about whether there was any kind of domestic dispute prior to this having happened?
So the person of interest, I can't get further into that, I'm sorry.
Sergeant, what is the relationship between the 2-year-old and the victim?
We believe that the 2-year-old is the victim's child.
And is it known whether the child witnessed what happened?
It is unknown at this time. Investigators are currently working to determine all that.
Do you know where in the house the deceased woman was found?
I can't get into that either. I'm sorry.
Any relation between the child and the suspect?
At this time, the investigators are currently working to determine that. We will post it on X, any updates that we have. Yeah.
Of course, this could be a very traumatic situation for that 2-year-old child. Can you talk about just how important that caller was? Was that person like a neighbor or someone, or the crucial timing of making sure that child was taken care of in a quick manner?
Yeah, the call was important. Unfortunately, I can't disclose the identity of the caller to protect the caller.
Just talk about the quick response by the officers and the first responders being able, I know that the woman was deceased, but that child, you never know what could have happened, a 2-year-old child, and making sure that child is okay.
Right. Luckily, the child was left unharmed. We were fortunate. We responded and, handle the call the best that we can. And like I said, we got lucky. The child was left unharmed.
Last question.
So I was actually at a McDonald's just south of there earlier today, and I just saw a big police presence all of a sudden, someone being tackled and arrested. I was just curious, that no way of knowing, but just was curious if that happened to be a kind of
Yeah,
connection there.
that was unrelated.
That was unrelated.
Yeah, unrelated incident.
All right, thank you.
Homicide number,
This is number 3 for the year. Compared to last year, we were at 8.
And just how is the neighborhood doing it all? Did you hear anything from neighbors? Just that obviously it's so difficult, like losing someone in a community like that, or
Yeah, this is a very tragic event. It affects not only the family, but the whole community, and I know family and community are starting to gather. It's a very unfortunate incident for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When the police tried calling Davis, he immediately hung up when the officer identified himself as law enforcement. Detectives spoke with Christine's friends, and one of them told the police about what happened on May 1st, and about how Davis kept on sending messages to Christine throughout the night, accusing her of cheating. Another friend provided text messages from September where Christine explicitly stated that if anything happened to her or her daughter, Joseph Davis was responsible. Police also interviewed Davis's ex-girlfriend, the mother of his 2 older children. She confirmed receiving a voicemail from Davis that morning, where he admitted to what he had done to Christine, adding that he wanted to see their kids one last time before he turned himself in. She told investigators about the protective order she'd obtained against Davis, and that she told her lawyer months earlier that she feared Davis would eventually hurt someone. Police tracked Davis to an apartment in Minneapolis on 31st Avenue South, an apartment that belonged to a woman he'd met on a dating app about a month earlier. She told investigators Davis had called her that morning saying he was in trouble and was running from police. When he asked if he could stay with her, she agreed and let him in without asking what kind of trouble he was in. The Minneapolis SWAT team executed a search warrant, entered the building and took Davis into custody without incident. When Davis was brought in for questioning, he told them that he had set up a recording device in their home the Saturday before, and claimed it captured Christine with another man. When the police asked him exactly what he saw, he admitted that the footage was grainy and hard to hear or make out clearly. Davis said when Christine came home late on May 1st, he confronted her, accused her of lying and being unfaithful. The argument escalated and he attacked her in the bedroom. According to Davis's account, he sat on the bed and waited till she lost her life. Davis reportedly told investigators he shouldn't have done what he did to her. He acknowledged it was extreme and that he felt bad. When detectives asked about the location of the object he used, Davis said he didn't remember where it was, claiming that he blacked out after leaving the house. He told the police that after he put his 2-year-old daughter to bed, he left the house around 1 a.m., took Christine's phone with him and abandoned it at a local park. Then he called his mother first to tell her what he'd done, asking her to check on his daughter. After that, he called his ex-girlfriend, left that voicemail and called other family members. One of those family members contacted the police. And that's what prompted the welfare check that morning. On May 5th, prosecutors filed charges against Joseph Davis. 1 count of second-degree charge. Davis made his first court appearance and the judge set bail at $2.5 million. Christine's family started a GoFundMe to cover funeral expenses and support for her daughter. Davis accused Christine of infidelity, yet he had been talking to women on dating apps and meeting them. He'd already had somewhere to run the morning after the tragic incident. Joseph Davis remains in custody awaiting trial. What drives someone to that point? What makes a person look at someone they've built a life with, someone they've had a child with, and decide to do something so terrible? Remember, danger can wear a friendly face. Stay aware, look out for others, and reach out if you need help. See you in the next case on Deranged Mind. Thanks for watching.